Welcome to the Brand Champions Mixtape, a compilation of our favourite marketing subjects in a short break-sized podcast. This is episode 2.
So it's really exciting for us. We're learning as we go. So any feedback, we'll take it. But I hope you've had a good week. We've had an epic week here at Brand Champions, so it's been a busy one. So Fee, we've got 3 things to talk about today. What's our first one?
So firstly, we're going to talk about marketeers having a responsibility to the environment when making claims for brands. This feels quite timely because you have just been to an event on this very topic, haven't you?
Yeah, so greenwashing, as it's called, I think is a really interesting one to talk about. And it's a bit different to last week's topic. So I think what's really important is that when people are talking about environmental claims, etc., they're doing it from a place of authenticity as opposed to a tick box exercise, I guess. There's some incredible stats. If you get it right, it has a massive impact on sales, but you get it wrong and it has a massive impact on sales. I don't know if you've seen any great examples of where it's done authentically.
Well, we obviously have been chatting to the guys at Wicker Pants. I think they're a really good example of getting it right.
Yeah, they talk about their sustainability a lot and their carbon emissions, all that sort of stuff. And I think what's really great about them is that they put it into really clear language. So they talk about how specifically a year's worth of disposable pads and tampons for one person is equal to so much carbon emissions. Yeah. I can't remember the actual number, but and that's an easy thing for me to, as a consumer, to go, okay, I understand that. What they're telling me is this. Whereas I think where it goes wrong is where you've got brands. So, for example, George by Asda, ASOS. There was one more as well, but I can't remember it. But they've just got in trouble recently because all their claims are quite vague, and it's like, they've got a picture of a green leaf.
Well, there's some stats here. 42% of companies exaggerate their sustainability claims. I mean, that's really quite worrying, isn't it? Not massively surprising, but
no.
Yeah, I think it's about that authenticity, like you said.
Absolutely, and people they want to do it because they want to show that they're doing something, but by being vague, you would probably lose a lot of customers as opposed to win them over.
And I think when we talked about diversity last episode, we were saying about the impact it can actually have on your brand sales. Again, I'm obsessed with the proving results. 44% of consumers are more likely to buy a brand that has a clear commitment to sustainability. That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a real impact. You've got to prove that you're doing it properly, though.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. You can't that kind of saying, oh, this is what we might do, or this is what we are doing. It's not enough. It's not enough anymore.
And consumers have to follow through as well, because it's all very well saying, oh yes, I'll definitely be more likely, but that's got to convert through to sales when we're all indulging in fast fashion or whatever that might look like. We need to see that really start to follow through, don't we?
It's a thing called the green sumption effect, I think it was called. It was labelled that a couple of years ago. And it's basically like when we buy something as a consumer, we get a warm glow when we think we're doing good for the planet. And obviously some brands are tapping in on that.
Next thing I want to talk to you about, Campaign this week launched their best places to work in 2024. I don't know the answer to this question, but a group I'm
Brand
part
Champions,
of,
obviously.
Well, obviously.
I mean, get it right.
Group I'm part of, we were having a bit of a debate to say how many are run by women. We wonder, because there wasn't many in the group I'm on. And obviously timely, because Mary Wells Lawrence has died this week, sadly, was the first woman to fund, own and run her own agency. Do you remember her most famous ad campaign?
So I know the big one, I think, which is I Love New York, right?
Absolutely.
Oh my God, I literally love it. Imagine saying that was your campaign.
Yeah, and the other one I really love, which is probably old school for a lot of people, but the Plop Plop Fizz Fizz, which was Alka-Seltzer, which feels very relevant to us working in the healthcare space.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, some amazing claims. And obviously I I was really surprised that that's only our generation, that's the first person running an ad agency almost
Yeah.
as a woman. And but incredible that people are kind of have people like her have paved the way for the rest of us, and kind of, she was obviously really sticking her neck out at the time, and
Yeah.
um,
What
yeah,
an icon, right? What an icon. And like, again, going back to all the conversations we have, it just shows again that, women are still fighting and still battling to be up there. If you look at football, strange but like correct link, I think. It wasn't until recently that football for women had been stopped from being banned.
yeah,
That's crazy, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
we've got
yeah.
these absolute icon women like Mary, recently passing away, and football has not been able to play, and I just, yeah,
Let's talk about Friday ad this week.
Friday
We
ad,
had a couple of recommendations from the team. We decided to go with one that focused in on mental health. It is Mental Health Awareness Week, so this felt really timely. I think we talk a lot about adult mental health. Obviously,
yeah,
we support Man Club, which is an amazing charity, trying to get men to talk more. But this ad we're going to focus on, this week's Friday ad, is kids struggling and kids that are carrying the mental load that you wouldn't want them to be. Like, childhood should be about play and about fun, and we think about
yeah,
all the work that Lego's doing
yeah,
to be about imagination and play, and then you've got these kids that are living in hell because they're carrying such a mental load. So for me personally, obviously, I always say, having young kids at that kind of age, I thought it was, the actor in it, he is brilliant. The boy
yeah,
who's doing it, called Ben in the ad, when you watch it, and you sort of see him physically carrying a backpack to demonstrate the mental load he's carrying around with him every day. I just think the power of the storytelling um, was incredible.
yeah,
And it's just really, again, authentically done, really
yeah,
nicely shot, feels really realistic. It kind of really tugged on my heartstrings. But then at the end, you get that moment where you go, oh, he's getting help. But that must be not the case for so many kids, right?
yeah.
So
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic advert. So it's the BBC Children in Need advert created by BBC Creative, so the in-house team there, and I think it's wonderful. And I was doing some research on it earlier in the week, and actually it's come from one bit of insight they got from a I'm not sure if it was a social worker um or somebody that was supporting a child basically, and they said they carry the heaviest weight, basically the unseen weight, and they've taken that bit of insight and created this advert,
yeah,
and it was going to be animated originally, but I'm really glad they've gone for this route.
definitely, definitely, it's so much more powerful. I
Yeah,
mean, it really, really gets you, because you can really feel for him
feel
trying
it.
to carry on and live a normal life
Yeah,
whilst all this chaos is going on in his world.
it's great. They've not softened the message in any way. It's a children in need advert, so in your head, you would probably expect a Pudsey to jump up there somehow, but like, they haven't done any of that, and they've kept
Yeah,
it
that's true.
really authentic
Yeah, they've
again.
kept it really
Yeah,
kind of,
um,
yeah, true to
it's a
life.
heavy ad to watch, and loads of people have said like it's really hit them. It's really made them think, and I mean, hands up to everyone that gets involved and helps kids for sure. So yeah, definitely absolutely wonderful choice for um Friday ad. I think it's really well done. So well done,
Uh,
BBC Creative.
And interestingly, I went to a webinar with System One this week on the most effective Christmas ads. I can't believe we're talking about Christmas already, so I'm not going to talk about it for too long.
Just now,
Um,
it's only
but
May.
Yes,
Jeez.
exactly. But System One is a research agency that measure ad effectiveness. They have a brilliant way of measuring it in long-term effects and short-term effects. So their spike rating, their star rating. Anyway, you can have a look. I think it's a brilliant tool for measuring effectiveness of ads. But actually, the one thing that came through really clearly was the brands that were telling the best story. So,
Yeah.
creating a compelling story and telling the narrative came through really, really strongly. So we'll talk about that another time, because there was so much.
Yeah, so I'm really interested in that now.
I know. It's a teaser. We'll talk about that next week.
Week 3.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued whether, and we'll talk about this properly next week. I'm intrigued whether we'll move to humour a bit more for Christmas ads, with a story still, but we've done quite a few years of like the emotional, you know, the remake of an 80s classic song. You know, I'm interested to see where it's going to go this year.
So tunes were a most important feature, and I'll just tell you one stat that stuck in my head. 20% of people are viewing your ad when it's on TV. All of them are listening to it.
Oh, what a great stat!
Yeah. So I'm not very good at remembering stats, but I did remember that one. Like, oh, that's incredible. Because having done an ad for Clover a few years ago that was based around a song track, I just think the power of music, and we talk about it often on Friday.
Yeah, we did a Friday ad recently, which was the Volkswagen ad.
Yes.
And that had an epic soundtrack on it. Again, classic song, everyone knows it. But yeah, it went with the ad really well. So yeah, it definitely shows that audio is super important for sure.
Yeah, and I like the VW ads anyway. I've liked them over the years, but that one I love because I love a kind of vignettes of life.
We're gonna get our Brand Champions VW camper van somewhere, aren't we?
We absolutely are. Yeah. That's coming soon.
If they want to brand that for us, that would be great.
That went very fast, didn't it? But that was quite a lot we talked about, really, in a very short space of time. As we said at the start, we want this to feel like break size content. So we talked about the greenwashing and making sure it's really authentic. We talked about female founders, notably Mary Wells Lawrence, and some of her famous campaigns. We talked about our mental health week and this week's ad of the week, which is the BBC Children in Need ad. And we gave you a little teaser, and we're going to be talking about Christmas ads soon. So lots of the people in the episode were saying they're already briefing and looking at work from their agencies. So yes, if you're not, don't start panicking yet. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. And on female founders, if you're going to MadFest, Fee will be there speaking as well. So
yes, come and join us. Come and join us.
Yeah, it'll be
nice
great to see you
some
there.
Friendly faces.
Cool.
Thanks so much. Bye bye.